All right, people. Your boy legit rolled out of bed and got on the Series X to watch some Paramount Plus and to take a look at the Halo TV series because I didn't even know it was coming out. Like, when it came out, I thought it was like at the end of the month or next month. So watch it today. I literally just finished watching it as I'm recording this video. I like legit. I went to record it when it was fresh in the brain. I want to talk about it. I haven't seen anybody else's videos on it. I know Angry Joe posted some tweets about it. I know Angry Joe made a video about it. I didn't watch it. I know Hidden Xperia. Is it Hidden Xperia? But it's the Halo Xperia. Hidden Xperia, who's like a well-known Halo channel. He made a video about it. I haven't watched it yet. If I watch it after I upload my own video about it. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is because I want to make it clear. I don't know other people's opinions of the show, so other people's opinions aren't, changing my opinions or diluting my opinions or heightening my opinions. None of that is like there's no state when it comes to other people. I will say this when it comes to who opinions I would actually listen to. I would listen to Hidden Experience opinion because I view him as someone who actually is a Halo player, someone who does know and care about Halo lore. But I wouldn't say Angry Joe is someone who I myself would look to for Halo knowledge. I don't like Angry Joe. I'm pretty sure has only beaten the Halo games maybe once or twice, and that's it. I don't think he's putting like any significant hours into the series, the multiplayer, the other T series like Halo Nightfall, Halo Legends, Halo Forward to Dawn, or any of the comic books or the novels. So I don't see him as someone who actually knows a lot about Halo. So from want his opinion on a Halo TV series. As for your boy, the gaming messiah, the biblical beast, the best there is, best was, the newest gamer archer. Hope you all having a good as well, feeling good, smelling good. Welcome to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitch, link to that in the description below. And on your screen right now, we're going to be playing some Elden Ring today at 3 p.m. Eastern on if you're on the East Coast. If you're in a different time zone, do the math yourself. But also, I'm going to be doing live streams for about a week, so taking a little family trip. But anyways, it's not what you're here for. We need to get into the talking about the Halo TV series on Paramount Plus, which also, just point this out, if you want to watch Paramount Plus, but you don't want to pay for it and you're on Xbox, Paramount Plus and Xbox, look, this is a small channel. I'm not being paid to say this quick little advertisement. If you have Game Pass, you get 3 months of Paramount Plus for free. So you can watch the Halo TV series for free. Do that. Anyways, the Halo TV series, it starts off actually really good. Like the opening moments of the show, the first 15 minutes is really good. I will say this though, this is the first, I guess you can call it a negative. I'm going to be very intelligent about this comment. It looks low budget, and the reason why I'm going to be intelligent about that comment is because I think that's kind of what was there. I feel like Showtime, who's the one who produced the show, is airing on Paramount Plus. It's the Halo video game series, but Showtime is the one who's actually putting the funds in and making the show itself. I feel like Showtime is a little hesitant to go all in on the necessary things to make the show look high budget. So a lot of the CGI looks very sci-fi channel, as in if those watch sci-fi channel, you know what I'm talking about. It looks very low budget. If you watch TV show Defiance, it looks like how the CGI. Let me say just right now, I get a lot of Defiance vibes from this TV show when it comes to its looks, its aesthetics, its production. And the CGI looks very, very like obviously fake. And I feel like that's definitely a negative, but I kind of feel like the reason why they went this route on having like this low budget CGI is fear. I feel like the Showtime didn't know what to expect from this show. I feel like they didn't know if they should go all in or ask Microsoft or Paramount for more money to go into the CGI, because I don't think they even knew how long the show would last. You don't want to make a big investment into a show that you might not even like have past the first season. Now recently they did get confirmed for a second season, so maybe the second season the CGI will be even better because now they have that safety net of, hey, we already have another season, so instead of being scared that this is going to be a one and done TV show, now we can make better CGI for the show and maybe push for a third season. Now we're getting ahead in the future. That's the big thing though. That's a big negative that I will point out so far, is that the CGI looks really low budget, but the actual show itself I enjoyed. It was about an hour long, just about, and I for the most part enjoyed all of it. Was there some some question marks? Yes, I think Miranda Keys kind of seems a little weak. My thought process of Miranda Keys is someone who's very confident, who's very strong. She's very independent. She doesn't ever look or show any signs of weakness. And in this first episode, Miranda, she looks kind of like she's weak. She looks like she's trying to vie for her father's approval, which you never really get that sense in Halo, the novels or the games. You never get that sense that Miranda wants Captain Keys's approval. She's just always been, hella confident and very assured of herself. So in this one, she looks, very young and, vulnerable. And I kind of feel like that's a negative. Maybe she changes over time, but like just my own, remembrance of Miranda just doesn't match this Miranda. And speaking of the Keys family, I feel like this is where some people are going to start to like be very racial, because in the series for the games and the books, the Keys family are white. In the TV show, they're black. You're gonna see people who are gonna complain about that. That's just guaranteed. It always happens. There's gonna be people who are gonna complain that they race swapped the Keys family to be black in this TV show instead of white as they are in the game. To me, it's fine. I don't care what race the Keys family are. They're a video game character. Who cares? I care about how the acting is portrayed. I care about how the story is written. I care about that screenplay, that script. That's what I care about. I don't care what race anybody is. You can make freaking 117 and freaking Bluefall. I care. I don't care. How good is the acting? How good is the screenplay? How good is the show itself? So outside of Miranda, Halsey, I'm kind of struggling to put like a point on her, as in the actress who plays Halsey. I'm very familiar with. She played Kiefer Sutherland's wife in Desert Survivor, and she did great in that. And she's so far, I'm enjoying her in this show. She seems like she fits the role pretty well. But when I say I can't put my finger on Halsey, her thought process just seems a little weird, in the sense where it's very Halsey, because you really can't read Halsey. That's the thing about Halsey. You can't read her. You don't really know what her next move is. You don't really know what she's thinking or what she's doing. You don't know her loyalty side. She's just Halsey. You play like Halo 4. You play Halo 4's what you call Spartan Ops. You get this sense of Halsey, and it's like, is she gonna work with the Covenant? Like, and then like she does things her own way. And in this show, you're getting the thought process where it's like, is Halsey really gonna like endanger Master Chief? Because if you play the games, you read the books, you watch the other little TV series, you're like, that's not a Halsey thing. She would never do anything to endanger Master Chief, because that's like her son. Like, out of all the Spartans, he's the shining light. He's the one who Halsey puts on a pedestal. A lot of Spartans call her mom, but the only one she sees as her child is 117. And like, so this connection that Halsey and Chief has, you don't really like, as a gamer or the person who reads the books, you're like, you don't see her endangering Chief. So, but there's moments in the show where it's like, will she do it? But there's moments in the show it's like, okay, this is definitely Halsey. And also, just to like briefly talk about Chief a little bit, because I didn't really talk about Chief much at all. I was listening to the audio and make sure the audio was working properly. But just to make sure, just to talk about Chief a bit. Again, I'm trying to avoid like any kind of massive spoilers or anything like that. The way they have Chief, towards the end of the episode, I feel like people are going to be like, oh, that's too soon. That they should be doing that right there. I think all is going to come back around to where he won't be viewed as the way he's viewed. But I would also say, understand this when it comes to Master Chief. You get this throughout all the games as well as all the books. He's always been someone who the UNSC has viewed as, the potential of I don't want to use the word because I feel like it kind of jumps to being a spoiler. But Chief has always done his own thing, essentially. Like, he knows what the rules are, he knows what the commands are, but he's always kind of done, what he feels is right, what he feels, he should be doing. And it's why he's viewed as the way he's viewed by other Spartans. It's why he's viewed the way he's viewed by, Marines and, other people who are in command, who are military. The politicians have their own view of him that aren't as positive, because they're politicians and want you to just follow the rules, follow the code, all that stuff. But those who, are on the battlefield, the captains and commanders who went up the ranks, who understand Chief, they respect him, and because of how open he is about you know, sometimes the mission changes, sometimes the rules change, sometimes you gotta break the rules, or you know, go along the lines of, you know, that rope, that you know, that thin ice, that, you know, what's that saying they have, you know, cut the red tape. Sometimes you got to do all of those things to achieve the mission, or to get the right answers, and Chief will do that. He will do whatever he needs to do to achieve the mission. That's kind of like the idea of the Spartans in general, is that the Spartans, you know, they will do what they need to do. They'll kill anybody who's in their way. The mission has to be done. So people will say this is too soon though for Chief to be doing what he's doing. I don't think that way. I feel like, again, it's going to all come back around to where, you know, people make nice, and you know, there's always gonna be that distrust kind of situation and things like that. But that comes naturally when Halsey's involved in anything, because no one other than Chief and the Spartans trusts Halsey. Like, this is how the Halo mythos works. No one trusts Halsey other than the Spartans. You know, everyone who works with her works with her because she's brilliant, and they need her brain power to do these things that's going on. But they don't trust her because they know at the end of the day, the thing Halsey cares about the most is her own work. Spartans. And the Spartans know Halsey, more than anyone else in UNSC, has their back. And that's that. When it comes to Chief and what's going on with him in the first episode, again, trying to avoid spoilers. I don't think this is going to be the setting for the entire season on like his personality, things like that. I feel like it's all going to come around to where, you know, he is, they'll get mad at him and things like that, and things will be explained, and like it'd be more explanation. Again, this is a first episode. You have to let things play out before you be like, this is all dumb, this is trash, I don't like what they're doing with Chief, I don't like what they're doing with Halsey, I don't like what they're doing with this and that. It's one episode. You have to let it play out. I don't know how many episodes this season is going to be. I don't know if it's like 10 or, you know, 20. Who knows? You have to let the story play out, figure out how it's going to go, because the setup and the ending and that middle piece as well. You get Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. The setup, the middle, and the ending are all going to dictate a lot when it comes to this series storytelling. You know, we get our first look at, like, I'm trying to avoid, you know, spoilers in this, because, you know, people want to watch the show. We get a look at, you know, some Cortana related things. I found that interesting, and curious how they're going about that. I feel like that's the big point I want to make about this TV show. A lot of the things that I saw in this first episode was interesting, curious, and has me intrigued by what the story is going to be for the show. Recently, there was like a bulletin that came out from the showrunners saying that they didn't talk to 343 about the game at all, that they didn't use the game as a resource at all, and people got like a little confused by that or mad at it. And I read that statement as, the game exists in its own universe, our show is its own universe, we're not going to use the game as a template to figure out our own universe. However, books exist, comics exist, these other shows exist. Again, Halo Nightfall, Forward to Dawn, Halo Legends, watch all of those. The terminals exist. There's all these other resources that exist that they can use other than the game itself, so they don't need to use the game as a template or as a resource. Now, people read that statement though, and they're like, how do you not use the game as a resource? The game is why Halo exists. You don't need the game to make a TV show. The books exist. Books are better resources than games are. No, and I understand why people will criticize that statement, because I did that. When it came to the Witcher TV series, I complained about so much about that TV series because I'm comparing that TV series to the amazing video game franchise, ignoring that this TV series doesn't care about that game franchise. It cares about the books. And yeah, they made some acting choices that still goes against the books, but for the most part, they're trying to use the books as a resource, not the game as a resource. They're ignoring the game exists and only going with the books. And I kind of feel like the same thing here when it comes to this Halo TV series, is that they don't care. They know the game exists, but what they want to use as a resource is the written text of the books. Those are an easier thing to translate from, you know, one from media to another. Video games are hard to transfer from, you know, game to movie. And that's why we see so many video game movies fail, because it's hard to transfer that storytelling to the big screen. Books, though, are very easy to transfer, because your script writers, your writers can look at it, read through it, and they understand what they're seeing on those pages, versus they got to play this video game to understand the vibe of what it is. So outside of that, I think this is a very promising TV show. There wasn't a lot that I didn't enjoy. I really like how Silver Team is in it. Silver Team is one of the more unspoken teams in the Halo, mythos in terms of, for the mass audience. You know about Blue Team, you know about Fire Team Osiris, you know about, some of the like Black Team. There's other teams people are aware of. I feel like Silver Team is a different one of those ones that are a little more unknown, so it's good to have them being present. I think a lot of the things involving them in the show was really cool. There's a lot going on in 1 hour, and I think it's all very intriguing. I like the way they told the story for this 1 hour for episode, because for me it gives me the thought process that they want you to watch episode 2. They did enough things episode 1 to make you want to watch episode 2, in my opinion. Now, there's any people who are going to nitpick it, people who are going to be, they want the negativity so they can get more views. If your negativity gets you attention, negativity gets you views. There's people who don't know about the Halo, who hasn't read the books, they didn't read the comics, they didn't watch the other series, they only want to see that video game put onto their big screen TV, and so they're going to nitpick it in that way and not be open-minded to the idea of the game. I'm looking at it from an open-minded standpoint, and also I will say my expectations were very low. I never go into anything with high expectations. My expectations when I watch anything is always low. That way, when I process it, I'm not holding it to some insane standard. I'm not looking at this show to be better than Halo 2 or Halo 3 or Halo 4 or Halo 1, Halo Infinite. I'm not looking for it to be better than any Halo. I'm looking for it to be its own thing and be entertaining, be watchable, and have a good story and have good acting. And so far, it has a good acting. It looks interesting. It looks entertaining. The only thing that I really want to see it improve upon is on that CGI, that production, because it does look low budget. Even the Spartan art outfit looks low budget. It looks like, very expensive cosplay is what it looks like. I'll be honest with you. The Halo, the armor of the Spartans in this looks like very, very expensive cosplay. When it comes to like the Covenant, though, we only got to see the elites. And again, they look low budget because, again, the CGI looks low budget. But I will say, the Prophet of Mercy does not look low budget. His CGI actually looks pretty good. So they did good on how Mercy looks. I will say that. They did a good job on how a lot of the ignoring the CGI looking low budget, a lot of the designs of the outfits, the weapons, the world building, the ships, the Pelican, the Commodore, the Phantoms, when they go to High Charity, the way that looks, it all looks very good. It all looks like the studio behind this knows exactly what they need to have these things look like. There's not a lot of negative for me personally when it comes to this. It has its ups, it has its downs, sure. There's moments where I didn't really care about some of the dialogue, but every show has that. There's no show where every minute and every second of that show is perfect. My favorite show of all time is 24. 24 has episodes where there's some down moments where it's like, I don't really care about this. And that's in every episode, not just 1 or 2 episodes, every episode. So overall, I would say it's worth watching. I'm curious about where it's going to go. It was a good first episode. I would say that. It's a good first episode. There's also an Easter egg there that I thought was pretty cool. I don't want to spoil it, because if I do, you want to like look for it. But, well, if you follow me on Twitter, you already saw it. I won't say you saw it, but like you got an idea of what the Easter egg was. But I thought it was cheeky and cute. Actually, maybe Google it. Like, not the spoilers, not the Easter egg itself. I was Googling time, because they made a reference to another video game, and I was like, what year did that take place? So I can see if it makes sense for Halo to even have that as a reference. But it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all, because the thing that they use as an Easter egg happens 500 years before the events of Halo even takes place. So it wouldn't be a thing, but it's just a nice little Easter egg and a nod to a former Xbox exclusive game that's not exclusive to Xbox. But I don't know, you should watch the show. If you're a Halo fan, watch the show. If you read the books, watch the show. If you watch Nightfall or Unto Dawn, Legends, watch the show. I think if you watch those, you'll understand. Like, I kind of feel like this show definitely kind of has that same vibe as Halo Nightfall, just a little bit. And the big thing I want to end this with is intriguing. I don't want to say the show's good or bad, even though I think it's mostly good than anything else. There's more ups than downs. Intriguing is what I want people to see as this, and it's very intriguing. With all that said, that's it for me. I've been your boy, Nubis the Gaming Archer. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe. If you can come to me, I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Deuces.